welcome back. It's a flipping warm day today in Blighty, and it's the first day. It's probably been over 24 in about a month. It's pissed it down for a good month. So I've locked all the windows. I've turned the fan off, and I'm getting pressurized. And I've donned the Olympique Lyon football top because I'm gonna get French on you motherfuckers. What do I want to talk about first? I was actually debating. I look at my life a lot of the time. I do a lot of introspection when I'm laid in bed, thinking of, stuff to talk about and stuff, funny ideas. And, sometimes I think, should I say that? Should I put that out? And, thank God nobody listens to this because some of the stuff I've said and will go on to say is quite embarrassing or divulging information that could make me look like a little twink. But anyway... And I had a pretty bad job at gambling last month, so I lost a lot of money. Probably about 100 quid, right? So I cooled it off for a couple of weeks. Hey, let's do it all over again. I've just been paid. Let's learn this lesson again. So I gathered up some true warriors, some of the meanest, some of the most devious dogs that I could get my hands on, and we went down to the casino, all right? Long story short, I lost 70 quid, all right? None of us made any money, but it was interesting. It was an interesting experience. The fucking girl that I asked her number last time I went was there. And you know what? I acted like I'd never seen her before in my life. Hi, introduced myself. God, this is my first time here. I've never been here before, but I have a twin brother that probably might be who you might have seen before, but I've never been inside these walls before. I ask everyone that works there, hey, do you gamble? Guess how many gamble? Not a single person, not the bouncers, not the dealers, not the pit boss. None of these people gamble. That should be a little indication, shouldn't it, that you're kind of ruining your life. At least drug dealers, take drugs. You don't meet many drug dealers that are fucking losers. You see all these dick pill advertisements. They're all over these podcasts, aren't they? And there's even some on the TV. And I thought to myself, I might give these things a try. And it's not that I have dick problems, all right? I think my dick is just a little fat phobic at times. But it's like, I don't necessarily need an RPG, all right, if I'm going to war. But hey, I'm a little more comfortable if I know that I can blow up loads of people at once. It's the comfort, it's the peace of mind knowing that I can call in an airstrike, all right? If things aren't going to plan, if maybe I've banged my head, something has gone, I can whip out the big boys, all right, and we can go home, all right? And we can go home and we can go hard. So I ordered some of these dick boner pills, right? And I was going to wait until I could actually use them for sex, but yeah, it was just one of those nights, where you just lose 70 quid at the casino and the only thing left to do is have 5 orgasms in an hour. But, all right, I'm not an idiot, all right? I'm just a silly goose. Anyway, so I got back at like 12:30 and I'm like, I can't. Surely I shouldn't, right? So I do one of these little things, man. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack for the first 20 minutes and that. I think it was just getting into my bloodstream, and I was reading the old warning label, and it's I'm skipping past all the stuff like may cause anxiety, may cause infertility, may cause hair loss, and I'm looking right at the good stuff like boners for 24 hours, and it does work, it does work. Shockingly, it does work. So I've done the research, guys, and you're probably all right. Just take my word for it that, these things are all right. These things kind of work. But it was kind of silly, It was kind of silly taking these boner pills just to masturbate. It was, it felt like taking meth and just going for the shopping. Yeah, so you know what I mean. It's not needed. But I learnt my lesson, and I'll tell you what. When I hit some girl over the head with these things, they're gonna be impressed, and I mean that metaphorically, as in the mojo. I'm not gonna make a woman hit him over the head and make him go unconscious. That's not what I'm saying. What else? What else? What else? What else is there? The government, right? Are we're spending so much money in England housing refugees and stuff that come over here on these boats that they have decided to get a big boat, right, and put them all on this boat, and whatever, and people are saying, oh, it's inhumane to keep them on a boat. You can't keep these people on a boat, and it's funny because about half the country holidays on a cruise ship, which probably has less room on it and probably more criminals as well. Let's be honest. But the thing is, what they've called it, I can't get over. And I don't know if they've called it this, but they've chosen the name Bibby Stockholm. Why do we need to call it that? All right. It sounds like a children's nursery book. All right. It sounds like some posh girl from university. They're all called shit like that. When I'd go and visit my mates and they'd introduce me to some of these middle class whores, they're called Petal Conundrum and shit like that, And the government, right, in all their infinite wisdom, I think somebody painted a nice little mural of Disney characters, to make some of the children maybe that was going into this holding facility to feel a little bit less like they're going to be turned into food. All right, maybe make them I don't know. Oh, look, there's Minnie Mouse. Oh, look, Bart Simpson's there. Where are my parents? And the government thought, all right, get that shit off the wall. This needs to be concrete. We don't need these kids thinking that they're at Disneyland. This is hell, all right? So why are we keeping this with the same sort of fashion, guys, all right? You can't wear yellow socks, right, and blue shoes and a red jumper, right? We've got to call it something that when you hear it, it sounds like the end of your life, all right? What about the floating incinerator? What about something like that? And I'm not saying that we should burn these people alive. I'm just saying, let's call it something that is terrible, all right? If we're going to be evil, let's be evil, all right? I saw this clip, right, and it was on Twitter. I kind of got onto this a couple of weeks ago about middle-class people and how I think they should all die. But it's this kid, right, and he's wearing a vest, and he's English, right, and sounds like a little southern fairy. Some guy's interviewing some American, and he's like, oh, what is English culture, or what culture has England got, or British people? And basically this little doormat just goes on about, oh, Britain ain't got any culture. We've stole everything from the world, and we are, all racist or something like that. And he's probably right. He's probably right about a few things there, right? We did steal a lot of things, and we were damn good at it, all right? I'd rather be a country that was good at stealing than a country that sucked at keeping hold of their stuff, all right? It just shows that how good at battleships we were, all right? And it's not necessarily something to be proud of, but it's little globernauts like this kid that he's definitely a posh little twat, and probably didn't have any culture in his life. Never really got exposed to other cultures. Grew up very nice, and he kind of doesn't even know what British culture is. And I'm not here as Mr. Culture Boy, because I think it's kind of hard to say what your culture is unless you live somewhere else and experience another culture. But to say that England doesn't have any culture, come on, guy. What about flares? What about lighting flares in the street? And what about every time there's a World Cup, we all sing that song, right? What about that? It's not like we've had any popular authors, but let's not cling to Shakespeare. I mean, what about J.K. Rowling? She likes wizards and ghouls and potions. I'm trying to think of some other culture stuff. What about roads not being built properly? What about the Romans building the best roads, and that was over 2,000 years ago? What about that one? And it doesn't take long. I wish this guy asked me a question. All right, I would have loved to lay down the law on this Yank. All right, and then I would have punched him for killing John Lennon. All right, so maybe we should get all these little middle class mongoloids, right? And did I mention that he was wearing a vest, this kid, right? And he had tattoos, and they always have shit tattoos. They never have any color on them, and they're always shit. Why don't we put all these middle class yuppies, right, on this boat, and let's sink it?